Greetings! Mansory79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now. Loading game, and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, onto edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm going to be making one for is a Lyrical Monasterio's Prismagica Wilista D-LBT02 deck. And I'm going to be using this Lyrical Monasterio's Prismagica Wilista D-LBT01 deck as the base of the deck I'm going to build. Okie dokie, let's get started. So going to edit deck and entering edit deck. Here we are. And like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building today's deck profile video is a Lyrical Monasterio's Prismagica Wilista deck made up of cards only available up until D-LBT02. So first, let's go to the filter settings, pack, show only cards from D-LBT01 Lyrical Melody and D-LBT02 is a new school term, applying filter. Now let's start off with the grade 3 lineup. For the grade 3s of this deck, we're playing right deck, grade 3, Prismagica Wilista, skills for skill, action as a Vanguard, cost, Soul Blast 1, True Hearted Ruby. If the cost is paid, and until end of turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 power and your opponent cannot intercept. Any second skill, action as a Vanguard, cost, Soul Blast 1, Everlasting Sapphire. If the cost is paid, look at the top 5 cards to your deck, choose up to 2 unit cards from among them, call them to an open rearguard circles, and discard the rest. And those units gets plus 5,000 power until end of turn. So for Wilista, she's the main grade 3 to ride this deck. Her skills, depending on which card you Soul Blast, either Ruby or Sapphire, you can either turn your Wilista into a powerful attacker with his plus 15,000 power and blocking your opponent's ability to intercept, or to also fill up your fields with rear guards with who can help you launch consecutive attacks. Not only that, the call rear guards by the second skill get a little extra power to work with. So for Prismagica Wilista, we got 4 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, leaving that way. Next up, the grade 3, Attentive Deep Love, Audibly, skill, auto as a rear guard. When you play True Hearted Ruby, if your Vanguard is Prismagica Wilista until end of turn, this unit gets plus 10,000 power, and you can play an additional order this turn. It increases each time this ability is activated. So for Audibly, it's a support card for the Wilista deck for skill. As long as you play True Hearted Ruby and you got the Prismagica Wilista as your Vanguard, not only can your Audibly serve as a potential 23,000 point attacker for the front row, but it gives you the ability to play another order card. So for Attentive Deep Love Audibly, we got 4 in the deck, taking 2 out, only playing 2. Next, the grade 3, Relaxed Conversation, Philomena. Not gonna play this card anymore, taking it out, and in its place, let's see, any other grade 3s you can play this deck? Yep, the grade 3, Scintillate Rays, Ophelia, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, your Prismagica Wilista on Vanguard attacked. Perform all of the following according to the cards you Soul Blasted for your Vanguard's ability or play this turn. True Hearted Ruby, this unit gets plus 15,000 power until end of turn. Everlasting Sapphire, cost, Counterblast 1 and put a back row center rear guard to the bottom of your deck. If the cost is paid, stand this unit, shuffle your deck. So for Ophelia, she's a support card for the Wilista deck. For skill, after your Vanguard Prismagica Wilista attacks, as long as you meet the conditions, you can either turn your Ophelia into a potential 28,000 point attacker for the front row, or give it another attack to work with the second skill. So for Ophelia, she can, depending on which jewel you play, Ruby or Sapphire, you get a powerful front row attacker and also a second attack from your rear guard Ophelia. So for the grade 3 Scintillate Ray Ophelia, we're putting 3 into the deck. There we go. And now for the other grade 3 playing in this deck, we're playing the grade 3 Challenge to Self-Trudy, skill, auto. When this card is discarded from your hand or your deck during your turn, if you have a Vanguard Wilista in its card name, cost, Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, search your deck or drop zone for up to 1 gem card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and if you've searched your deck, shuffle your deck. So for Trudy, she's another support card for the Wilista deck. For skill, when you discard her from your deck or hand, as long as your Vanguard's a Wilista, as long as you can pay the cost, you can search your deck for any gem card, either Ruby or Sapphire, to activates effect to give you the advantage later in the game. So for Challenge Yourself Truly, we're putting 3 into the deck. There we go. And the Grade 3 lineup is done. Let's get on to the Grade 2 lineup. For the Grade 2s of this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 2, Expanding World, Wilista, Skills for Skill, Auto as a Vanguard, once per turn. When you play a gem card, draw a card. Second skill, Continuous as a Guardian. For every 2 gem cards in your drop zone, this unit gives us 5,000 shield. So for Expanding World, Wilista, she's the main Grade 2 to ride this deck. For skills, for first skill, as long as you pay a gem order, you can increase your hand size. And second skill, as long as you've got multiple gem cards in your drop zone, your Wilista can serve as a potential 10,000 point shield or more, depending on how many gems you've secured your drop zone beforehand. So for Expanding World Wilista, where we got 1 in the right deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 2 we're putting in next is the Grade 2 Unrelenting Talent, Henrietta, Skill, Auto as a rear guard. When this unit is boosted, cost Soul Blast 1. If the cost and paid until end of battle, increase this unit's power by the original shield of the boosting unit. So for Henrietta, she's a pretty good card to play your Lyrical Monasterio Nation decks. As long as you activate her skill while she's boosted in the battle phase, you can give all of the shield of the boosting unit to your attacking Henrietta. So the higher the shield of the boosting unit, the more power will be added, giving your Henrietta a potential way to either pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased attack power. So for Unrelenting Talent Henrietta, we're putting 3 into the deck. There we go. Next up, the Grade 2 Mystic Voice Renata. Not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. Next, we're going to the Grade 1 lineup. For the Grade 1 to this deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 1, Proof of Hard Work, Wilista, Skills for Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, cost, put a card from your hand to your soul. If the cost is paid, search your deck for up to 1 gem card, reveal it, put into your hand, shuffle your deck. Second skill, Auto as a rear guard. When you play an order, cost Soul Blast 1, and this unit gets plus 5,000 power at the end of turn. So for Proof of Hard Work Wilista, she's the main Grade 1 to ride this deck. Her skill is the first skill. When you ride on top of her, as long as you can pay the cost, you can add any gem card, either Ruby or Sapphire, add it to your hand to later use it for your later game strategy. And the second skill, as long as you've got the condition and cost met, your rear guard Proof of Hard Work Wilista can serve as a potential 13,000 point attacker for the front row or a 13,000 point booster for the back row. So for Proof of Hard Work Wilista, we got 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Tranquil Affection Elviria. Not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. And then the Grade 1 Mini Life After School Katina, Skill, Auto. When this card is placed in the rear guard circle, cost Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand. If the cost is paid, choose a gem card from your drop, put it into your hand. So for Katina, she's a support card for the Wilista deck. So for skill, as long as you can meet the cost and the conditions when you call her, you can add a gem card, either Ruby or Sapphire, to add to your hand for your later game strategy. So for Mini Life After School Katina, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 1 Soapy Splash Riviera Sentinel Perfect Guard. Skills for skill, Continuous Sentinel. Second skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. So for Riviera, she's a perfect guard for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard training card game, she features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discard a card from her hand, you can block 1 enemy attack. But she also features an ability unique to all D standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Riviera a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. So for Soapy Splash Riviera, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. And next up, the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0's deck, we're playing Ride Deck, Grade 0, Brilliance in the Ore, Wilista, Skill, Auto. When this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Brilliance in the Ore Wilista, she's the starter unit of this deck. Like any other starter unit in the D standard format, the same skill and activation. When we're in the top up, you went second, draw a card. So for Brilliance in the Ore Wilista, we got 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. And next we're showing the Grade 0 Normal Order Gem True-Hearted Ruby. Cost, plays skill, order, plays of a counterblast of 1. If the cost and paid, draw 2 cards, choose a card from your hand and discard it. If the cost and paid, put this card into your soul. So for True-Hearted Ruby, it's one of the main gem cards to play in the Wilista deck. With skill, as long as you can meet the cost, you can not only restock your hand with more cards, but also put True-Hearted Ruby into your soul, which will allow you to activate the Grade 3 Wilista skill. So for True-Hearted Ruby, we got 4 in the deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 0 Normal Order Gem Everlasting Sapphire. Choose one of your units. It gives plus 5,000 power at the end of turn. Put this card into your soul. So for Everlasting Sapphire, it's one of the other gem cards to play in your Wilista deck. With skill, you can give one unit on your field, Vanguard or Rearguard, a little extra power to work with, and then later move Sapphire into your soul to activate the Grade 3 Wilista skill. So for Everlasting Sapphire, we got 4 in the deck, leaving that way. Next up, the Grade 0 Original Style El Shuka Critical Sugar. We got 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, only playing 3. Next up, the Grade 0 Grading Dragon Scale Ilse Critical Sugar. Not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. The Grade 0 Running Start You Haida Front Trigger. Not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. And the Grade 0 Soft Light Purell Heal Trigger. Not going to play this card anymore, taking it out. And in their places, we're putting in the trigger units. We're putting in the Grade 0. Here we go, the Grade 0 Precious Tune at Witch Critical Trigger. Skill Auto as a rear guard. At the end of the battle, unit boosted. Cost, put this unit into your soul. If they cost and paid, choose one of your units, and it gives plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Edwidge, she's a powerful critical trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks. For a skill, after boosting attack, regardless if attack is or not, as long as you don't mind moving Edwidge from your rear guard to your soul, not only can you stock up your soul for later soul blast, but to also give your remaining attackers in the field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra power to work with. So for Precious Tune Edwidge, we're putting 4 into the deck. There we go. And next we're putting in the Grade 0 Snow Skill Palby Front Trigger. Skill continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Palby, she's a powerful front trigger to play in your Lyrical Monasterio decks. For her skill, when used to guard with while the conditions are met, she can serve as a potential 20,000 point shield on her own. So for Snow Skill Palby, we're putting 4 into the deck. And next we're putting in the Grade 0. The Grade 0 Hush Diva Hortense Heal Trigger, putting 4 into deck. And last but not least, the Grade 0 Greatest Star Esperanza Over Trigger. Skill Trigger Additional Effect. During this fight, you get during your turn, all of your rear guards gets plus 10,000 power. So for Esperanza, she's a over trigger for the Lyrical Monasterio Nation. Like any other over trigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card, but she also features an ability that's unique to her alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of the fight, all of your rear guards get plus 10,000 power. So ideally, the Esperanza is a over trigger best revealed the earlier you reveal it on your turn in a drive check. For the moment you reveal it, for the remainder of the fight, it'll be easier to pressure and finish off your opponent with the continuous plus 10,000 power to all of your rear guards. So for Greatest Star Esperanza, we got 1 in the deck, leaving that way. And the deck's been built, cards explained, so just save the deck. Overwrite deck being built, yes. And for the cards in this deck, we're playing 4 Grade 3 Prismagica Wilista, 2 Grade 3 Attentive Deep Love Audley, 3 Grade 3 Scintillate Rays Ophelia, 3 Grade 3 Challenge to Self Shruti, 3 Grade 2 Unrelenting Talent Henrietta, 1 Grade 2 Expanding World Wilista, 4 Grade 1 Mini Life After School Katina, 4 Grade 1 Soapy Splash Riviera, 1 Grade 1 Proof of Hard Work Wilista, 1 Grade 0 Brilliance in the Ore Wilista, start a unit, 4 Grade 0 True-Hearted Ruby, 4 Grade 0 Everlasting Sapphire. And for the triggers in this deck, we're playing 7 critical triggers, 4 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger Esperanza. And the deck is inbuilt, cards explained. Now it's time to test the deck, so let's just leave the edit deck menu, return to the main menu, off to fight menu, selecting CPU fight, selecting the deck I just built, the Lyrical Monasterios, Prismagica, Wilista, D-LBT02 deck, D-LBT02 deck. Selecting deck, choosing opponent. For the opponent, I'm going to test it out on. I'm going to be using it against the Dark States, Masaru Kita, normal difficulty. And the battle begins. Let's get started. And the battle begins. Let's get started. Here we are in the fight. We're gonna decide who goes first. So, a rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Paper to scissors, I lose, going second. So now we're gonna draw our starting hands. I got a perfect guard, grade 3 Ophelia, 2 criticals, and a Henrietta. Holding on to perfect guard and normal units, returning triggers, redraw, and got 2 more normal units, not bad. My opponent's going first. He rides the grade 1 Deep Sonicer. Sonicer skill, he's soul charging. A critical, sweet, one less card to worry about. My turn, I draw. I ride from the right deck. Proof of Heart Work Wilista. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 Henrietta, discard, riding Wilista. The starter unit Wilista skill, draw a card. I'm drawing a heal trigger. Unbelievable. What a waste. Fine, I'm just gonna go straight to battle phase, I guess. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard, 8,000. The attack goes through. Drive check. No trigger, grade 3. So 1 damage to my opponent. And the boom! Damage check. No trigger, grade 2. Safe. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent's riding to the grade 2 Electro Spartan. Calling Engraver to the rear guard. Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, taking a hit. Drive check. Grade 1, perfect guard, not good, so 1 damage. Ow! Damage check. And no trigger, and it's a grade 3. Not Wilista, I have 1 less card to Persona right with. I guard with the heal trigger, Hortense, blocking Engraver so she cannot soul charge, since Engraver lets you soul charge when you less successful attacks, so 23,000. And ka-chink! Attack blocked, safe. That's the end of my opponent's turn. My turns, draw. I ride from the right deck, expanding World Wilista. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 challenge to self Trudy. Drop and ride Wilista, Proof of Heart with Wilista skill. I'm going to add 1 card from my hand to the soul. I'm adding Ruby to hand. And search my deck for a gem card. I'm adding another Ruby from deck to hand. Add it. And then there's the grade 3 Trudy skill. I counterblast 1, counterblast. Search my deck for a gem card. I'm adding another Sapphire to hand or Ruby. I'm adding Sapphire to hand. Add it. Next, I'm calling to the rear guard, Henrietta, call, and calling Katina to the rear guard, call, not gonna activate her skill. I play the order card, Everlasting Sapphire, into soul, plus 5,000 power to Katina, and the great my Vanguard skill with every gem card played, draw a card, I draw 1, and draw. Front trigger, not bad I guess. So going to the battle phase. Henrietta attacks Selfish Engraver, 10,000, 10,000. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 regard down, 1 less to worry about. Vanguard to Vanguard, 10,000. The attack goes through, drive check. Yes! Critical trigger! Nice draw! I give the critical to Vanguard and power to Katina. Trigger effects added. Power and critical. 2 damage to my opponent. Boom! First damage, check. Critical trigger. Trigger effects added. Come on. And the second check, come on, nothing. No trigger, Barrel Madness, safe. 1 less card to Persona right with. Now, Katina attacks the Vanguard, 23,000 power, the attack goes through, and another boom! 1 more damage. Damage check. No trigger, grade 3, safe. That's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the grade 3, Master of Gravity, Barrel Madness, and he's Spartan Skill, card into Soul, Soul Charging, another Barrel Madness, 1 less card to Persona right with. He's playing the Order card, Supernatural Extraction. He's gonna Soul Charge 3. Soul Charge 1, 2, and 3. A Engraver and draw trigger. He calls Curtis, Soul Charging. He has over 10 cards in Soul. Curtis adds plus 5,000 power to the front row. Vanguard to Vanguard. Barrel Madness skill. He counterblasts 1, adding power and critical to Vanguard. Tough choice. I think I'll let the Vanguard go through, conserve my hand to block the remaining rear guard, so no guard. First check. No trigger, perfect guard, not good. And a second check. No trigger, Electro Spartan, so 2 damage to me. Here it comes. A fusion of light and damage check first. Heal trigger, not bad. I cannot heal, but I can give power to my Vanguard. And second check. No trigger, Sapphire, so here comes the attack from Curtis to my rear guard. Guarding with a critical, guard, 25,000, attack blocked. You're welcome, Henrietta. Now it's the end of my opponent's turn. It's my turn. I stand and draw. I ride from the right deck. Prismagica Wilista. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 Henrietta. Discard. Riding. Prismagica Wilista. Ride. Now I'm going to activate my Wilista skill. Soul Blasting Sapphire from the Soul. Soul Blast. Looking at the top cards of my deck to call 2 cards to my rear guard. Not bad. So I'm calling first Scintillate Raise Ophelia and Precious Tune at Witch to the rear guards. Call Ophelia and at Witch. Call. That should be enough. Power added. Switching the places of Ophelia and Katina. Next, I play True Hearted Ruby. Counterblast 1. Draw 2 cards. Discard 1. Discarding. I discard 1 Ophelia. Discard. And activate my Vanguard skill. Soul Blasting Ruby. Soul Blast. 15,000 power to the Vanguard. That's good. Now, let's see. Ophelia, since I played both of the gem cards, not only can Ophelia get plus 15,000 power, but also restand. So, I'm going to, in my soul, I have 1 rubies, and I think that's enough for now. So, heading over to the battle phase. First, my rear guard. My Vanguard attacks the Vanguard. 28,000 power. My opponent perfect guards. I knew that was coming. He discards for perfect guard cost a order card. Twin drive, first check. Oddly, not bad. And a second check. Yes, heal trigger. I cannot heal, but I'll give power to with Henrietta's skill, 25,000. Ophelia can attack for, let's see, plus 15,000, 28, 36. So I'll give the power to Henrietta. And the attack is blocked. Now here comes Ophelia's skill. With Ruby activated, plus 15,000 power. Now that's 38. 41,000 here. Here will be 30, 29 plus 15, 44,000. So boosted by Katina, Ophelia attacks the Vanguard, 41,000 power. The attack goes through and boom! 1 damage, damage check, no trigger, Spartan. Now 1 final attack from Edwidge to Henrietta. Then my Henrietta skill, Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast, adding my booster shield to my Vanguard. 44,000 power. My opponent perfect guards, and discarding for the perfect guard costs a Spartan. The attack is blocked. And that's all, so that's the end of them. Then I'm gonna activate Edwidge's skill. Nope, not gonna activate Edwidge's skill, just ending my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's calling Spartan, going straight to battle phase. Curtis the Vanguard. No guard, taking a hit. Here it comes, out. Damage check. No trigger, Sapphire. Here comes the Vanguard. And Manus' skill, counter blast, plus power and critical to Vanguard. I perfect guard with Riviera, perfect guard. For the perfect guard cost, I'm discarding 1 heal trigger, discard, attack blocked, and first check, critical. All to Spartan, power and critical, and the second check, I hope it's nothing. Heal trigger, come on, double trigger and a heal. So the attack is blocked, ka-chink, safe. Now 30,000 from Spartan. I guard with the front trigger, Palby, guard, skill activated, plus 5,000 shield, 33,000, and a ka-chink, safe. End of my opponent's turn, my turn, stand and draw. I skip to the main phase, and I call to the rear guard. Mini life after school Katina, call. Katina skill, Soul Blasting 1, Soul Blast. Discarding 1, discarding Edwidge. Discard. Search my drop zone, True Hearted Ruby, add to hand. Now I'm calling to the rear guard. Attentive Deep Love Audley, call. And I play the order card, True Hearted Ruby. Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast. Draw 2 cards, discard 1. I'm discarding Trudy. Activating Audley's skill. And plus 10,000 power, I can play an additional order this turn. Not gonna activate Trudy's skill. And gonna play 1 more Ruby from hand. Wait. Nope, I'm playing, let's see, Ophelia's skill. For every, according to card, Soul Blaster played this turn, so I'm playing Sapphire. Plus 5,000 power to, let's see, here is 23, 29, 27. Here is, with his own skill, 28, 36, so I give power to Audley. And that should be enough. Going to battle phase. Next, Ophelia with its skill attacking unboosted to the Vanguard, 13,000 power. The attack goes through and boom! 1 damage to my opponent. Damage check. Critical, come on! How is he so lucky? Now boosted by Katina, Wilista attacks the Vanguard, 21,000 power. My opponent guards with a heal trigger. Twin drive, first check. No trigger, second check. No trigger. Oh, now Persona Ride comes. Come on. My opponent guards. Now activating Ophelia's skill. Counter Blast 1 and move Katina to the soul. Counter Blast, Katina to soul. And restand. Now boosted by Edwidge. Audley attacks the Vanguard, 32,000 power. He guards to be critical, 38. And the attack is blocked. Now it's at which is skill into soul, into the soul, plus 2,000 power to my rear guard Audley. Power added. Now boosted by Katina, Ophelia attacks the Vanguard for 38,000 power. He guards with a heal trigger, 38, intercepting with Spartan, so the attack is blocked. And that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent's going to call to the rear guard, calling skill of his rear guard, Curtis. Curtis attacks the Vanguard. I guard with Katina. Guard, 18,000. And ka-chink, safe. Now here comes Barrel Manus Vanguard. Manus skill, counter blast, critical and power to Vanguard. I perfect guard with Rubiana. Perfect guard. For the perfect guard cost, I'm discarding Ruby from hand, discard. And Twin Drive for check. Over trigger. 100 million power to the rear guard, critical to Vanguard, second check, perfect guard, and the attack is blocked. Safe. Now 100 million power from Curtis. I cannot guard, taking the attack. No guard. Here it comes. Ow! Damage check. Front trigger, wasted a trigger, come on! Trigger effect wasted. That's the end of my opponent's turn, it's my turn. Stand and draw. I Persona Ride Wilista. Persona Ride! Power, and now I'm activating Wilista's skill. Soul Blasting Sapphire. Soul Blast. Look at the top cards of my deck for cards to call. I'm calling to the rear guards. Scintillate, Race, Ophelia, and Katina. Call. Calling here and here. Call. There we go. Now switching to place. Not gonna activate Katina's skill. Nope, not adding. Then I'm going to switch Ophelia in Audley's places. And activating Wilista's skill, Soul Blasting Ruby, Soul Blast. Adding 15,000 power to my Vanguard. That ought to be enough. On to the battle phase. First, my right side Ophelia attacks the Vanguard for 28,000. My opponent perfect guards. He discards for the perfect guard cost a draw trigger. The attack is blocked. And now boosted by Katina, Wilista attacks the Vanguard for his 51,000 power. The attack goes through. Twin Drive first check. Over trigger. I draw a card and 100 million power to the right side Ophelia. 10,000 power to all rear guards. Second check. No trigger, so 1 damage to my opponent. Here it comes. The spotlight shines down and boom! 1 damage. Check. No trigger, 6 damage. I win. Not too bad. Despite the immense pressure from my opponent, I got to test out the cards in my deck okay, I guess. So, and I got to try out some of the new cards. So I got win, attack 60,000 more power, perfect guarded, drew an over trigger, opponent drew an over trigger, did a Persona Ride, 8 turns pass, did a Superior Call, retired 5 more opposing units, and drew 3 or more times in 1 turn. I got 3250 VP, total 108,275 VP, pressing A to go next, leaving fight, returning to fight menu, leaving the fight menu, returning to main menu, and to edit deck menu. And with that, the deck's been built, cards explained, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also will show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and